Okay, so welcome to the end of summer seasonal workshop. This is the fifth of the 5 seasons. It's the fifth season. It's the fourth seasonal workshop I've done since the beginning of this year. We have one more coming up in the fall. And I am just really happy to see you. I'm excited to share some of these practices. I think this is a very potent time right now as we shift from summer to fall. So for those of you who are coming on a little late, I've asked if you would put in the chat what it is that you're experiencing as we shift from one season to the other. And I see that becoming more focused on what matters most, joy, and recognizing you need spaces for non-obligations as things get busier. May that be so. Hooray for more space. And I'm so glad that you feel good about connecting with people here. I'm so happy that you're here. A sense of
Here's an
relief.
example.
A sense of relief and calmer, Lynette. And I'm so glad about your business. I'm really excited to see where you're going to be going with it. I think it's really amazing. Confinement to accomplishment. So Rosie, recovering from that surgery. This is so good. So while people are putting in the chat, and please do, I'd love to hear, because the more you name it, the more the resonant the work that we're going to be doing will be. I wrote a couple of notes to myself to talk about the extended summer time, because it's a time of ripening. And in the Chinese medicine, it corresponds to the element of earth. So we've had, fall, winter, spring, summer, extended summer, and those 5 seasons each represent a different element. So this one is earth, and it's a time of balance and transition. And basically this element opens space between all of the seasons. In fact, there's certain depictions of the 5 elements that has the earth or this season in the center, because it's sort of this open space in between seasons. But in terms of moving from summer to fall, the themes of the season are the transition from abundance to release. The color associated is yellow. The taste is sweet. It's associated with the stomach and the spleen, and the animal that's associated with it is the phoenix. So think about a magical bird rising from the ashes. That's what this time is about. So if you have something coming forward, and I know some of you do, that this is a good time for that. This time is also a time when we're in a period of releasing, letting go. And when we're in a period of letting go, that can bring up worry or anxiety, which are the emotions that are associated with this season, and with the spleen, which is the organ of the season. So as you prepare to move into this autumnal release, you might find yourself wanting to hold on or clutch onto what you've accomplished in the last season. Mons, I know you had that amazing poetry reading. So it's that sense of when you move energy through the spleen, you're moving that worry and anxiety about what might be going away into openness, trust, and balance. So, and the Qigong that we're going to be doing is all about helping that and supporting that in an embodied way, so it goes into your cells. So this time of maturity allows you to see how summer's expression may have benefited you, yourself, and the others around you, and then what the essences of it that you can carry forward. So it's not about still being in that big expansion, but there's something that you can draw from it that carries forward. And that's what allows you then to open to the contraction that inevitably follows every expansion, right? So we expand in the summer, we contract in the fall. And so when we're contracting, we're pulling in those lessons. When we're working this way, you're able to balance your observer self with a sense of peace as you trust the changes, feel the different emotions that come up. This is Joy's area of expertise. And then you stay connected to all that is. In my book, I wrote the affirmation that I wrote for this season is, with an easeful breath, rest into the suspension between seasons. Finally, the metaphors for the season are relishing maturity, transition, balance, trust, enjoying the harvest, suspending, and accumulating wisdom. And the focus for late summer, this is all taken right from my book, is taking in what you've done, preparing yourself to let go, and trusting in the ever-changing nature of life. So with those words, I'm going to take a quick look at the chat and just see what other people wrote. Okay. This is a really rich share, Karen. I'm not going to take the time to read it all, but This is very, 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 very rich. And the fact that you had stomach issues and realize that it's the earth element is important. Overwhelm and confusing, figure out priorities and closing and opening, Catherine. And Catherine, you might put a little bit, well, actually, I think that that's good. I think that that's actually pretty clean. Annie, digging out some of the roots of sadness and anxiety and making room for seeds of ease. And dare you say it, joy. Yes. All right. And heightened focus, cricket. All right. I think that that's it, but feel free to enter into the chat anytime. I'm going to ask you, oh, I see somebody has their hand raised. So if you would unmute yourself, and is it you, Lynette, that you have your hand raised? No. Who has their hand raised? Oh,
I think I did it by mistake, Vicky.
Okay. All
Okay,
right.
sorry.
All right, good. Okay, so let's, oh, Joanne. Oh, I'm so
Hi.
happy you're here. All right, so let's stand up if you would. And you can move away from your computer, and Sherry, I'll ask if you would spotlight me so that people can just see me really clearly instead of out of little boxes. I'm going to stand with your feet apart and hands on your hips. And we're going to begin by just circling those hips around in a nice full circle. So I have had one person say that when she did this, she did it so vigorously, she ended up feeling like she, you know, was really sore afterwards. So this is not about pushing yourself. It's about just allowing yourself to relax those hips. And when we are moving the qi in this way, which we're doing, right, in what's called the lower dantian in your belly, when you're doing that, it's a way of integrating information. So I just threw a lot of data at you. And so whether you remember it or not, it's a way of just kind of taking it in and integrating. Let's go around to the other direction. And Cher, would you please mute everybody except me? That would be great, because I just don't want that external noise. And thanks, Harry, for mentioning that. Okay, so as you circle now, I'd like you to feel like you're not circling just the hips, but we're actually allowing the crown of the head to be related to your tailbone, so that there's a sense of a long spine as you do this movement. Okay, that's enough. Let's bring your feet about hip distance apart. Lift your toes up off the floor or ground and separate them out and put them down again. And drop your hands, relax your shoulders, and let's begin to circle those shoulders all the way around. Nice full circle. And as you do, I want to feel the shoulder blades move together and come apart. Those of you who've been students all year or for longer, I know some of you, this is very familiar, but I'm going to say it again because I always need to remind myself, which is it's almost like your lungs are like a bellows. So as you're moving the shoulders, you want to feel those shoulders pull together and then pull apart. And what that does is it helps the air passage through the lungs. As we move into the fall, we're moving from the spleen and stomach into the lungs. So important to do this. All right. And then hands on the shoulders, circle those elbows, same thing. Focusing on that space between the shoulders as it comes together and moves apart. Okay, let's go ahead and do a backstroke, one arm back and then the other. Now, if you have a shoulder issue, please adapt it any way you want. One thing you can do is just do it from the elbows. So it's a little bit like, you know, you're just having a sense of waving backwards. Otherwise, if you can do the whole shoulder joint, then go ahead and do that. But please make this work for your body. And if you have any questions, do feel free to unmute yourself and ask me. All right, let's follow that hand with your eyes so that your eyes are moving also. And this helps to relax the cilia muscles or the focusing muscles of your eyes. And so this is just a way to just relax your vision, right? Have yourself a soft focus. One more time, circling. And then let's go ahead and drop the head over to one side. Take a nice full breath in. And as you exhale, bring that opposite shoulder down and inhale, release. Exhale, pull down and inhale, release. Exhale, pull down and reach out through one finger at a time. And then rotate that arm back and forth in your own timing. Relax your jaw. Relax the space between your eyebrows. So if this hurts you, do it less. If it doesn't hurt you, then just let that opposite shoulder pull down as you turn that hand back and forth. And now let's go ahead and look down at the ground and bring your chin down to the collarbone. Take a deep breath in, and as you exhale, just sink that head a little further, stretching along the back side of the neck, so it's the opposite side. And then bring your head to center. You're going to put the hands behind the head and curl forward. So you're just going to curl down, looking down, and then come up and look up towards the ceiling or sky, elbows coming back. Again, you're going to curl down, round your back, and it's not a big thing. I'm not looking you to put your knees, elbows on your knees. It's just really opening up that upper back behind the heart, and then bring the elbows back. And again, round and arch, and then palms come all the way up towards the ceiling, and we're going to circle those arms around. So when you do this movement, we're just really relaxing through the waist. And again, you've determined how big this movement is. For some of us, it may feel like, no, I want to stay really small. I don't want to pull anything. And for other of us who are more flexible or who maybe work out a lot, you can go for the full stretch. So you determine what's right for you today. And it can change day to day, even for those people who work out a lot. So, all right, let's bring the arms out to the sides. Hands come onto the legs. And I'm going to ask you to go into a flat back position. So you're sticking your butt out and bringing the top of the head out. And we're going to round that back and then arch. And round and arch. Again, round and arch. And one more time, round, hold it here, and then take a wider stance between your feet, thumbs on the inside, and then stretch to a flat back again, and gently drop one shoulder down, look back over the other, in a cross stretch. Take a deep breath in, and as you exhale, bend the elbow of the shoulder you're looking over. So you're just going to bend a little further, and then push away, and change, and bend, and come back up. Roll up through the back, inhaling up, exhaling out. Squeeze those elbows together, lift the chest up, and inhale out to the two sides. And exhale, pull back, and inhale out to the two sides. One more time, pull back, and release. Bring your arms down, hands behind you, lacing the fingers. And we're going to squeeze those shoulders together, lift your chest up, lift up and look up, and then palms forward, upper back, pushes back, and just turn from side to side. All right, and we talked in the last seasonal workshop and then over the July series about the heart and the concept of the cobra and the lamb, or your passion and that sense of reciprocity and connection, two aspects of the heart. So I want to just do a little bit of heart movement since we're at the tail end of summer, and we want to carry that, again, the essence of that heart energy into this coming season. So I'm going to ask you to put your hands on your heart. And when I say heart for this moment, I'm talking about your heart, the actual organ of your heart. So take your hands over a little bit to the left of your chest and just breathe and see if you can tap into your own heartbeat. And then bring your hands to the center of your heart and ask yourself, if your heart were to speak to you about what feels really important about this summer, what did you do that felt like it expanded you or felt like it was a bigger expression of who you are? And it can be subtle. It doesn't have to be some big thing. It can be actually quite subtle. So just listen for your heart, see what it says. And we're going to just take whatever that thought form is and you're going to put it between your hands. Now, if nothing came to you, that's absolutely fine. We can just work with pure energy. You don't have to infuse it with the thought. So we're going to go to one side. The arm is going across the chest. The other hand is going to come up in front of your eyebrows. So I'm using my left hand. I'm not sure if we're mirrored or not, but you're reaching out with your left hand to your right. The other hand is coming in front of your third eye or the middle of your forehead. And then we're going to come back. So you're just holding this thought or the energy of the heart. And then as you exhale, we're reaching out the second side. And we're going to imagine the sunlight is dropping into the palm of your hands, spiraling up through your heart and going up to your mind in your head here, your third eye, your thoughts. So bringing in, holding a moment of, this is something that I was able to find myself in during the last 3 months. And then out, exhale here, and you're catching energy in that palm. It's spiraling up your body into your third eye. And inhale. So exhale. And inhale. A good one to practice outside if you can. Exhale. And inhale. Exhale. And inhale. And exhale. And inhale. And bring your hands back to your heart. So the heart is all about your fire. It's about your passion, about your convictions, and all about the ways in which we give and receive love, experience that reciprocity flow. And it's that fire feeds the earth by turning into ash, right? So that hot ash starts to feed the earth. So that's the earth element of the stomach spleen. So from summer to end of summer, this is the stomach spleen movement. We're going to just move the hands from side to side. And as you do this, I invite you to turn in your waist, but see if you can keep your hips and knees facing forward. So here's what I don't want to see is where you start to give in the knee. So you want to, where you kind of collapse that knee in, that could hurt your knee. So I want to keep the knees and hips still. And we're moving from the waist because the waist is the axis of your energy field, of your chi field. Okay, and so we're letting that energy field turn around the waist. So the shoulders are down, and I always think about just sort of floating my hands through water or something like that. And if you'd like, try tuning into any sensation of air currents you might feel in the space where you're practicing right now. You may feel nothing, don't be alarmed. Just check in and see if you notice anything. Don't forget to breathe. Relax your shoulders and relax the space between your eyebrows. And then bring your hands to your lower dantian. Take a moment just to rest and breathe. And now we're going to bring the arms up over the head in what's called the shower of light. We're bringing energy from the stars, the moon, the sun, and you're infusing your cells with all that light, bringing it down through your body, through your legs, down to your feet, into the earth where it's grounding. So as we do this movement, we're accessing what I said was called the heaven realm, or Shen. And as you do this movement, you're infusing yourself with that sense of being part of a greater whole, that sense of we are all one. So in the heart, we take that and we manifest that as our own individual selves, right? That's the human realm. But in the heaven realm, this is a place where we can go to for guidance. I usually use it when I'm feeling stuck about something that I need to write or do, or I feel just stuck in general. This is a great one to help break that open and remind me that I am part of this incredible cosmos. So one more time, we're going to inhale up. And as you exhale, bring your hands now just to your head. And I'd like you just to take a moment to, again, revisit this concept of what it is that you might be releasing from the summer, and what is it that you're drawing in to take forward. So it's not so much about what you're bringing into that's new, for those of you who've done transition practice with me before. It's really about bringing in what is the essence of what you learned over the summer. Maybe it was to rest more. Maybe it was to take time to really enjoy fresh fruit. Maybe it was a moment of connection that you felt with an animal being or or somebody else, or something where you, or another person, whatever it is that comes up is fine. But I'd like to just think of, what am I releasing from this summer? What am I drawing in? And if your arms hurt with your hands on your head, go ahead and put them right back on the belly. Please don't do anything that causes you discomfort in this session today, or ever, I want to say. All right, so holding the head, breathing and listening. I'm going to just bring that down to the heart. So the focus of today is I really want to work with the transition. This is a form you can do at any time of year. It's really good in between seasons. And it's one that I think the end of summer holds for us as a lesson. And this is a very simple form that is drawn from a larger series of long forms. But there's basically 6 forms of 6 stages of transition in this. The first stage, we're releasing what no longer feeds us. The second stage, you're bringing in what is new. So in this case, what we're doing is we're releasing that sense of attachment to whatever fabulous things that happened this summer, or maybe just getting to swim more, whatever you got to do over the summer, releasing, letting go, allowing and trusting this change. And then what are you drawing in that you're carrying forward? Okay, that's the second stage. The third stage is integrating that into where you're at today. So we're really able to integrate that shift from releasing to bringing in right now. And then we make the fourth stage is making internal change, space for the change to happen. So internally being able to really be present and observant and with all of the emotions. It's not like you can't feel various, whatever it is that you feel about this shift, but just letting that have that space for that. And then the next stage is to let yourself live it, right? So you make an internal expansion. I'll talk about that in a minute. Then we're going to create an outer expansion. So there's a sense of things have shifted, you've changed, you're letting that kind of glow, almost like you're standing on 2 stars. And the final stage is you're coming home to center. So these last 2 stages are about expansion and contraction. So expansion and contraction is completely natural. Everything in nature goes through it, day to night to day to night, or breath, inhaling and exhaling. Everything, every time we have expansion, we have contraction. So for some of us, it's a little challenging to make friends with that contraction. So I want to see if we can do that as a sense of coming home at the end of this 6-piece form. Okay, so I'm going to have you stand with your feet. I'll step back a little bit. So feet slightly turned out. Okay, it doesn't have to be like, ballet second position, just slightly turned out, because that opens up the yin meridians on the insides of your legs. I'm going to come closer so you can see me. So that stands feet a little bit further than hip distance. And then we're going to soften the knees, drop your tailbone down towards the ground, right? Like you have a big kangaroo tail resting on the ground. And then the top of your head is lifted up towards the sky, and you're going to lengthen the back of your neck. And I'd like you just to focus for a moment on your breath and just again, notice that expansion and contraction. The more we can make friends with this, yin yang activity, the more we can really be peaceful. And when we're that peaceful, then we're able to create an energy field that draws to you what it is that you want to create for your next stage, for your next step. All right, so let's go ahead and do the movement. You're going to exhale, letting go. So letting go of whatever it is that you need to release. And then inhale, drawing in the essence of what you're really bringing in. And maybe it's a new awareness. Maybe it is new. Maybe it's something that you're carrying forward. And then we're going to exhale and allow ourselves to align from the top of your head to your tailbone. This is an integration movement where I'm just taking the new and blending it with the old. So I don't become a brand new person, but more I'm allowing that new aspect to come in. Then you're going to inhale. And as you inhale, We're going to make internal space for that change to happen. And then exhale, allow it to happen. It's a sense of, okay, I am in this flow and all is well. And then coming back home, inhaling back into your lower dantian, or your abdomen, your lower abdomen, which is the sometimes called the lake of your pelvis. So exhale, letting go. And inhale, drawing in. And exhale, synthesizing, integrating. Inhale, make internal space for change to happen. And then exhale, allow it to happen. And then inhale, coming home to center. Again, exhale. And then inhale. And exhale. Inhale. Exhale. And inhale. Now, as we do the movement, let's just think about starting from, as you start from this place, think about going all the way down, dropping excess down into the earth where it can compost. So all of that's not needed just becomes compost, food for growth. And then inhale, draw that food up through you from the bottoms of your feet, all the way through your spine. And then as you exhale, let yourself again align from top of your head to your tailbone. Then inhale and make internal space for change to happen. Exhale, live that change effortlessly. Qigong is all about something called Wu Wei, letting things become effortless. And then inhale, coming home to your own center. Exhale. Inhale from the bottoms of your feet, up your spine. Exhale, imagine someone taps lightly on the crown of your skull and it resonates all the way down to your tailbone. Then inhale, feel that expansion of your lungs. Exhale, fill up the space around you. Be as big as you truly are. And then inhale, allow yourself to come back to your small self with a sense of peace and harmony and welcome. Exhale, letting go. Inhale, drawing in. Exhale, align. Inhale, internal expansion or expression, and then exhale, letting yourself live that expansion. Inhale, contracting, coming home to center. Couple more times. Breathing out, breathing in, breathing out, breathing in, breathing out, and breathing in. Last time, silently. Bring your hands to your lower abdomen and just take a moment to breathe. And notice whatever you might notice. Feel whatever you feel. And shake it out. I want to say one more thing about this movement here. When you push your hands forward, it probably feels counterintuitive to breathe in, right? We think of pushing as an exertion. But actually what you're doing as you do this movement, just think about as you're inhaling and your lungs are expanding, that's creating this internal space. As you're putting your hands forward, you can imagine you're like one of those 1,000-armed goddesses sending, you're opening space all the way around you. So it's that sense here of really letting yourself take that space and time to listen in about what this change might hold for you. This is an incredibly important time to breathe it in. And then as you exhale, it's that effortlessness. It's that sense of really letting yourself be who you are. Okay, so let's go ahead and come forward if you would. Take a swig of water if you've got some. Hopefully you brought something to hydrate yourself. And I'd love for you to put in the chat what it is that you're releasing and what it is that you're bringing in. Okay, so, and of course, if you don't want to put anything in the chat, don't feel compelled. I always want to respect everybody's boundaries, but if it feels appropriate, what are you releasing? What are you drawing in? Thank you for your contribution there, Fred. I'm glad that you made it here. That's powerful. Okay, so what are you releasing? What are you bringing in? Releasing, let's see, we've got releasing I can't do it and opening to trust, faith, love, and possibilities. That really relates to your check-in, Karen. That's beautiful. Because when we're in that I can't do it place, that's where we do need to go to trust, right? Releasing, recycling fear over and over. That's great, Cher. What are you bringing in? And Rosie, releasing fear, drawing in abundance. I love that. I love that. I've never thought about dancing for abundance. And Sherry, you're drawing in calming breath. Good. Catherine, releasing being too invested in outcomes of effort and bringing in space, ease, and acceptance. Beautiful. And I'm reading these out loud, partly because there's so many people who are going to be watching the recording. I want them to have the benefit of your wisdom and the thoughts that you have, because it can help stimulate that for someone else. Joy, you're releasing habitual old thinking that limits you, drawing in thinking that services your purpose. I think that's what you mean. Yes, yes. That's the kind of eye on the prize, keeping the focus on what matters to your heart the most. Releasing jealousy and envy and bringing in paying attention to who you are and what you something, Annie. Harry, releasing anxiety about an issue where you live and bringing in inspiration from your creative muses. And if you happen to be on Facebook, check out Harry's storytelling, because his creative muses are dancing, amazing dances. So, hi, Lisa, glad you made it. Releasing compulsive busyness and thinking you have to solve things and taking in spaciousness and open-heartedness. That's wonderful. I don't know if you're still dealing with family issues, but letting go of compulsive busyness is a good theme to leave the summer with. It's a way in which we have more energy in the summer, and to be able to have that sense of spaciousness is the perfect way to really embody what this change is about. Cricket, releasing unconsciousness and fear and bringing in consciousness and wisdom. Way to go. Lynette, releasing the heat and smoke of summer, which symbolizes the great change experiencing and bringing in joy and seated confidence. And I know that you're going to benefit so many people as you do that, Lynette. Thank you for your contribution. Feel free to go ahead and type in more if you want. I'd love to see it. And even if if you want to do a direct message to me because you don't want me to read it out loud, that's fine. I will honor that. I'd love to know, or shoot me an email later, because I'd like to hold that with you in the chi field. Okay, so let's go back to the practice and just do a little bit more. We're going to be doing this a couple times more, but what I'd like to do right now is focus a little bit more on the technique. So Cher, if you would please spotlight me again. Thank you. And I'm not standing as far back as I want to be closer to you. And I don't think you need to see my feet for this particular form. So exhaling. Now, as you do this, I want to see you drop down into your feet. So just even before you move your hands. So drop down, soften the space behind your knees, and let your tailbone hang. Also want to feel that lower back expanding. So you're exhaling, but you're opening here in what's called the Ming Meng area. And then you go ahead and let that hands come. So the first part of the move is actually that internal sense of dropping. So again, we're dropping what isn't working for us anymore, or we're dropping whatever it is that we need to let go from this season. That does not pollute the earth. So if it's something that you're letting go of anxiety and worry, it's not going to put anxiety and worry to the earth. The earth has the capacity to compost a lot, and certainly of those types of feelings. So you want to let the earth do the work that it does. It's actually feeding it. It's fertilizer. So exhaling, releasing down into the earth. And then inhaling, drawing this energy up. So when you do this movement, I don't want you to bend and straighten your legs. This is the sense of dropping, but without bending the knees. It's really, what I'm doing is actually just dropping that tailbone. I know it looks like I'm straightening and bending, but I'm not. I'm just dropping, right? So that it just will plunk down. And then as you come up, it's internal. It's almost like your legs are two straws and you're drinking up this refreshed energy of the earth. Let's just do that for just a moment. So exhale, release. And inhale, draw in. So we're doing this as a kind of medicine for ourselves, a sense of nurturing ourselves, releasing, being with this release, and the sense of being able to receive, opening to receive more ease, more well-being. And exhale, releasing excess, just like leaves falling off a tree. And then inhale, drawing up the sap, the food, the nourishment. Again, exhale with the hands. And then inhale, feel the bottoms of your feet coming up through your legs, up through your spine. So for those of you who are familiar with Chinese medicine or practice acupuncture or acupressure, focus on the kidney 1 point. So for those of you not familiar with that point, that's the point. There's a hollow right below the ball of your foot. There's a hollow in the center there. That's the kidney 1, also called bubbling wells. That's where you want to think of those. That's where the straw is. It's where we both release and draw in. So one more time, release down through those bubbling wells points, and then drawing in. Okay, good. And then we're going to just drop from the top of the head down to the tailbone. I want to just do this movement a couple of times. Inhale, and then just exhale. And as you exhale, I want to just feel like almost like your bones are lining up here. Because when we do just this simple move, we're relaxing through the vagus nerve, which is essential for health and releasing stress. And the other thing that we're doing is we're activating the central nervous system to distribute information throughout our system, throughout our body, our thoughts, our emotions. So it's a really important move, even though it just looks like, what's that? Meh. It's actually something that matters. So here, we want to have a sense again of dropping that tailbone down. So again, I'm not bending the knees, but I'm just letting my tailbone hang. And that looks like it ends up making it look like I'm dropping down. Okay, so again, exhaling down through your legs, down through your feet, down into the earth. Now, before we move the hands, I want to think about the feet being like straws, and you're going to drink up or even just allow the earth energy. You don't even have to drink or pull. You just let that earth energy come up through your legs, through your spine, and then your hands come up. So you know when you're pruning a plant and you take away dead leaves and then new leaves start to come out? That's what this is, right? So you're releasing, you're pruning the dead leaves and then allowing new growth to happen. And you can let that become as big as you want it to be. Maybe it has to do with prosperity. Maybe it has to do with relationships. Maybe it has to do with creativity. So it comes in, and then from the top of the head down to the tailbone, lengthen through your spine, relax those shoulders. Okay, continue just to focus here and breathe. See if you can, in this position, relax any clench you might have in your buttocks. Let that sense of your feet be really connected to the earth, and the top of your head is connected to the sky. Remember, that's that heaven realm, that sense of perspective we can bring. We want to ground it. So one more time, exhaling, release. Inhale, drawing in. Exhale, integrate, synthesize. Then as you inhale, feel like you just have a sense of your lungs expanding, creating that internal space. So inhale. And then exhale. This is the expansion. And again, if I were to go, people come up to you and go, what have you been doing? You look so expanded. You look so big. Let yourself be that big. Really let yourself. And in fact, let's pause here. This is very related to the heart energy that we were working on in the last few months, right? Because this heart energy is all about expanding. When you're here, you might even want to think about the tips of your middle fingers, those heart fingers, and then come home. Right? Contract. After that expansion, contract. And I'd like you to notice if you feel any energy between your hands and your lower belly. You might or you might not. It's not a test, it's an experiment. Just see if you do. Okay, so exhale to let go. Inhale to draw in. Exhale to synthesize. Inhale to make that internal space. Exhale, expand, and inhale, come back home to your lower abdomen. Okay, let's see if you, I just wanted to check in to see if you have any questions. We're going to do it one more time, a couple more times, and then we'll do something else, but just see if you have any questions or comments about that particular form. It's a short form. Some of you are very, very familiar with it, and some of you have been doing it for many years. I always like renewing these forms for myself, so I'm hoping that you do too. And if you're new to this, don't worry about it. It's just, you'll be able to have this recording. So if you want to practice it again, you can. All right. And while you're putting in any questions, I'll just let you know that we are continuing with this theme and more in September, beginning on September 7th. And I know a lot of you already enrolled. It's a 4-week series, but I just want to let you know that is going to kind of work some more with transition and then moving into fall practices. And if you know that you're already in, you want to do classes all the way from now through the end of the year, I do have I'd like to just invite you to think about joining the Embodied Joy special program, which is actually, it's full. The program is full, so I almost didn't mention it. But as I was planning today, I decided to open just one more space for the people that are coming to this group. So Embodied Joy doesn't only give you a ticket to all the upcoming classes in September, October, November, and December. You'll also get a free ticket to the autumn seasonal workshop, which is all about the lungs and breath and centering through your breath. And it also, and I think maybe most important, includes some one-on-one personal coaching with me. And so that's a great way to optimize the last quarter of 2021. You'll also be part of a group coaching program, which is designed to keep you holding the focus that you place so that we're working in the embodied ways, and then we're coming back and really I'll be working laser coaching in the group as well. So it keeps you accountable and also gives you a lot of, I think it's a really amazing group, by the way. So it gives a lot of support. I'm bonusing in a transition practice session. So it's just a practice video. So you can just practice with just that little video, and a workbook to work with transition that you can work with throughout the year. So if this sounds like this is for you, then check the link that Sherry's going to paste for me. Sherry, if you put that in the chat. And I'm including a coupon code for $50 just as a gift from me. And that's just lasting through September 1st. So that's a quick run. And I'd love you to join this powerful group of Chi siblings. But you know, if you want to do it, be sure to jump in right away. Because like I said, I have one person space left. And so I'll make room for that person, but I can't open it more than that because I like in the group program to give a lot of attention to each individual. So I keep it fairly small. Again, I'd like, in any case, I'd like to encourage you to join the September classes. We'll be starting on September 7th, and Sherry's putting that link in as well. And by the way, I just want to say, if you're kind of thinking, oh, money, I don't have the money to do this, please just contact me directly. If you really want to be part of the September classes, just contact me and we will work out some kind of partial scholarship or full scholarship, depending on what your needs are. It's more important to me that you do these practices, particularly in these volatile days, that you actually have a chance to keep coming back to center so that we can really support each other and raise the energy, raise the chi. And the chi field, I can't think of a better way for us to do it. Okay, so That all being said, one or two more times through the transition, and then we'll go ahead and move that out into something else. So feet apart. Exhale. Inhale. The breath starts it from the top of the head down to the tailbone, and then the elbows sink. And you want them parallel. Inhale, internal space. Exhale, expanding. Inhale, coming in. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. And inhale. Hands on the lower abdomen. So I realized I asked you if you had any questions, and then I didn't look to see. So I'm going to look and see what any questions are that I can answer right away. And just so you know, I always stay on after these classes for 5 or 10 minutes to answer any other questions. So if you don't feel like you want to ask it in this group, then you can just hang on and ask me directly. Yes, Lynette, the September program is going to be recorded. So everything is recorded because there's some people who can't make it live. I'm glad that it makes sense to you, Karen, to do this. And thank you for posting those. Oh, and you're feeling lots of energy, Phyllis. And Lynette, you said amazing. That makes me so happy. Okay, so again, stay on for a couple minutes after if you have any questions or comments that you want me to hear. But I'd like to go ahead and move forward right now. Let's just do a quick review of, if you decide you'd like some of these practices and you're not continuing, let me just leave you with what I'd like you to practice, okay? You can include this heart one, but we are leaving the heart series. So we started with the heart medical qigong, and this is this movement here. So you can either put this as a beginning movement or not. I think it's important though to do well, let me start with the stomach spleen one. So the stomach spleen movement, which is this. So we would start say with this because truth of the matter is we're actually coming to end of summer season already. The fall equinox is actually considered to be the peak of spring, not fall, not the start of fall like it is in the Western calendar. So as we're doing this movement, you want to again move from your waist and keep your hips forward. You just go ahead and run through these with me if you would. And then this, just to kind of reorient yourself with connecting to that greater self, your big self, your guidance that comes from connecting to realizing that we are a dot on the earth, and the earth is a dot in the Milky Way, which is a dot in the universe, which is a dot in the collective universes that we are part of. And this is all still in you, right? This is working the microcosm of how you hold that in your own body. So that's the shower. You start again with the stomach spleen, and then you go into the shower, and then you can go ahead and move into transition. Let me give you a little bit of a bonus practice from the Healing Tao system. You're going to put your fingers, this is for your stomach spleen also, you put your fingers on the left side of your solar plexus underneath your ribs, and you're going to soften your knees, and you're going to just relax, and we're going to make what I think of as the Darth Vader sound. So it's a breathy haw sound, but you're not going to vocalize it. You're going to keep it in the breathy sound. And as you do that, you're going to just gently push in with your fingers into your stomach, spleen, pancreas area. The stomach, spleen are connected in this system here. So and breathe in. And again. And breathe in. Again. Let yourself fold a little forward over your fingertips. And then just place your hands on your stomach spleen. So just on the left side of your rib cage, and place it here, and then just breathe between your hands and the stomach spleen. And take a moment to thank your stomach and spleen for being the nurturing element that they are, keeping us, moving food through and distributing energy in the ways that they do. So take a moment just to breathe into the stomach spleen. It's also the pancreas is in this area. Make sure that I am timely here. So as you breathe, relax your jaw, relax the space between your eyebrows, and take a moment to send gratitude to this part of your body. Okay, and then just shake out. Place your hands on your heart again. And this is from the lotus practice, from those of you, again, who were working over the summer with the lotus. This practice, what we're going to finish with is lotus waft. So before we begin, what I'd like to do is just take a moment to think of anybody in your life that you feel like could use an extra boost of energy. It can be people in this field. We can do this for each other. We're, of course, doing it for ourselves. But I want to have that sense that this ripples out. So it's not just about nurturing our own, cultivating our own energy, but also an awareness that we are part of an interconnected web of life. And so we want to do this practice and have a sense of sending that out. So hands on your heart. And I'm going to ask you, if you were to think about walking out of our time together, our short hour together, and being able to share good energy, good chi. What do you want to bring? Is it a sense of presence to the people or animals or beings in your life? I also think of insects. I have a whole story about a praying mantis that I won't go into right now. But what would you like to share? Was it presence? Is it love and compassion? Is it kindness? Is it your message, whatever your message is for those of you who are doing heart-centered businesses? Is it a joy? Whatever it is, if you were to just take a moment to think of a word, breathe into your heart. What does your heart say it needs or wants to express right now? And then bring your arms out to the sides. And remember, I mentioned before, the tips of your middle fingers, you can actually stretch those out. And we're going to start with one hand, doesn't matter which really for this. And you're going to take that hand and almost like you're going to turn it. So it's almost like you're pushing something away. The other hand is just going to follow. We're going to turn in the waist. This is very similar to the stomach spleen thing that we did. We're just turning in the waist. And then we're going to go in the opposite direction. Shoulders are relaxed and you're sending that energy out. And again, to the side. And your eyes are just a soft focus. Your shoulders are down. Relax your shoulders. Relax the space between your eyebrows. And make sure that your breath is slow, smooth, even, and deep. So if this hurts your arms, bring them lower. Don't struggle through any pain with this. It's just so you feel like a rippling effect of good energy going out to the world around you. So anything that you feel has been a benefit from you for this hour together, then this is a moment here to share that. As you do this movement, I'm inviting you to notice what you might notice around you because it's a very peaceful movement. Just notice. If you're having stimulating sounds coming from outside, just notice how you feel as you do this movement and just are in harmony with it. Or you might find things start to still. I've often experienced dogs barking and they stop barking when I do this. So you might find that it has an influence, almost like a ripple effect, like a pebble in the lake. All right, good. Bring your hands to your lower abdomen. And let's take a moment just to tap in anything useful from our time together. Tapping it in. And then tapping yourself on the back for showing up and being here. Taking time out of your Saturday to nourish your chi, coming down. Now, as you do this movement, we're going to cup the hand as though you're pulling out any stagnant chi, any remaining stagnant chi. Go underneath your arm here. And then here on your limbs, underneath your armpit. Okay, and let's do that again. Down and up. Do this one more time. Going down and up. And then pound your chest. And other side. Cupped hand, tapping down. And come up. Again, down and up. One more time, down and up. And then we're going to tap your chest again. And then coming down to your belly. Be friends with this little center of your belly. And then we're going to just tap on the hips, going down the sides of the legs and coming up on the insides. So again, coming down and coming up. And one more time, down and coming up, and then lower back and upper back, behind your neck, base of your skull, behind your ears, top of your head, clap, rub, come down the front of your body and come up and out and splash yourself. And let's splash one another. All right, good. Thank you so much for joining. Like I said, we're just now at the hour, so I'm going to stay on for any questions or comments. And of course, if you feel like just throwing it in the chat before we finish, what it was that you were spreading, how you were spreading your heart energy, what was the quality you were thinking of? I always love to hear that. So whether or not you do that, I just want to say thank you again and be well till the next time. Let the chi flow. Bye-bye.